There are multiple reasons why Snow White failed at the box office and really was labeled as one of the worst box office disasters for the Walt Disney Company, especially for Disney live-action projects out there that adapted them from animated classics. We know one thing for sure is that Rachel Zegler played a very large role into why this movie tanked at the box office, not just limited to her political views, but also based on all the drama between herself and Gal Gadot behind the scenes and more. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, it wasn't just limited to that. We also know that this was also for Disney to blame. You know, they focused way too much on the whole typical Disney agenda, the diversity, equity, and inclusion obsession, and how that contributed to the overall creative actual issues at play, both behind the scenes and once the actual movie dropped in theaters. Now, one thing about this is that we already know that Snow White is performing at a very abysmal level for the ratings and for the viewership metrics on Disney Plus once it arrived on streaming, and so far we have those out there like Rachel Zegler essentially admitting that they are losing a lot of work, or that she is losing a lot of work within the industry, and how they, as in the producers, the executives at multiple studios, want nothing to do with her ever again. So let's get into this, shall we? Now, one thing about Rachel Zegler is that we know that she always likes to go on a political rant here and there, and she hasn't really done this in a very long time. But I guess now that you're actually shifting away further and further from the Snow White disaster, well, I guess she's becoming more relaxed to express her political views once more. Now, with the Walt Disney Company still struggling in 2025 with their Disney Plus platform, especially after Snow White performed terribly with their ratings and viewership metrics on Disney Plus, those like Rachel Zegler decided to go on another endless argument about losing roles in Hollywood and, of course, her views on politics. Now, Zegler recently delivered the following. The number one issue in this industry that many young actresses face, especially now in 2025, is that they lose work over their political views and their stance and their right to free speech. And I guess I'm in a position right now where I am a victim of that. There is this growing hypocrisy in Hollywood where seemingly the men can say what they want in this industry, but the women can never get away with their views on politics and to express what side that they are on. And I think that's where the problem lies in this country. Actresses like myself deserve better treatment in this industry because I'm sitting here doing press for Snow White and everything just seems like it faded out, and I'm just like, well, what am I doing here anymore? Perhaps I am getting older and I am not that valued age bracket anymore. I don't know. But to all of those in show business, to those that are in this industry, to all of those, of course, out there, they all deserve a right to express their politics and to actually convince their base what's right or what's wrong, and what side to choose toward common sense. It is truly hypocritical when you have those high up in the corporate ladder that force you to say this or that this is the right thing to say and that's the wrong thing to say. And I think that is the growing problem that actresses are dealing with right now in 2025. Nobody has this ability to express themselves anymore, especially if you support DEI. And as a working actress, this is my number one challenge that I am working to get past. It's important to work with a studio that values your political views and one that values your stand on politics, especially the side that leans toward common sense and doesn't abolish diversity in this industry. So guys, right there, I think that she literally just poked, at Donald Trump abolishing the DEI elements in the film industry and how he got rid of it all. And how, yeah, I mean, most studios, a lot of them are beginning to shift away from that as a result, but you still have a resistance there. Now, she goes on to continue, the important thing now is to get past this administration and to bring Hollywood back to the way it was 6 months ago. But right now, it is unrecognizable. It really seems like the dark times for Hollywood, especially for those coming from a place of diversity. My best advice to all actresses out there is that if you can't express yourself and your political views, then what country are we even living in? We are now living in a culture where failure is celebrated by those on the right, and it's a sad time. It truly is a scary time right now. It's very important for us as a society to get past this phase in Hollywood that is moving away from diversity. It's just a terrible thing that we need to raise awareness about. For far too long, have women in this industry been put to the wayside or limited to side roles. And look, I'm glad I got the chance to play a main lead role in Snow White, but it's very rare in this industry, especially now in this age, when you want to express your political views and your role in activism, because I am pleased to say that I am a proud activist. Now guys, let me just say one thing about Zegler here is that she constantly lies. You know, women get lead roles all the time. I don't know what she's going on about there. But one thing is for certain is that the minute that she goes on about her political views and how there's a lot of actors and actresses that can't express their political views, that's another big lie, because we've seen this happen so many times with many out there like Alec Baldwin, Robert De Niro, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, and even Rachel Zegler herself, when she actually went off with her politics years ago and nothing ever happened. Now, look, we know at the same exact time that they're going to say whatever they have to say to get their political views across. And it seems like, you know, it's people also like Pedro Pascal that cannot let go of their views of those that want nothing to do with the typical messaging and the typical agenda. And this is exactly why a lot of films have bombed at the box office. A lot of TV shows have fallen into multiple ratings disasters. I mean, we're witnessing this, of course, throughout the entirety of 2025 so far. And at the same exact time, we know it's going to take a very long time for Hollywood to make a full-on rebound, or if they even can make a full-on recovery, after all of the years of doubling down on DEI since, like, what, 2016, 2015, right around when it started to happen, big time. But again, Rachel Zegler not only admitting that she's losing roles, essentially, and that she views herself as aging out or getting older to the point where maybe she's not that valued age bracket anymore. I think what it really boils down to here, the ultimate truth, is that Rachel Zegler is coping with the fact that what she did was wrong, and that she, of course, was actually doing all the wrong things across the board. You know, if you had a checklist of things that you should not do, Rachel Zegler essentially did all of them when she was not just promoting Snow White, but also at the time when she was filming Snow White. And that's really what led to a lot of creative differences on board of this actual movie. That's ultimately as well what led to the box office disaster that it is today, and also a ratings disaster because it's not doing well at all on Disney Plus. And again, I mean, we know that Rachel Zegler is getting very small roles, and when I say small roles now, I'm talking about movies that are very low budget, to the point that she's on a movie right now with Marissa Tomei that's maybe gonna cost, you know, $3 or $4 million, maybe $10 million maximum, and will be in a total of a couple of theaters across the country. It's roles like that that Rachel Zegler is getting right now, and it's pretty much, you know, something that should be used as an example that you don't say such things toward, you know, your fan base or, you know, those that actually have a political view. We all remember what she said: if you support Donald Trump, then I don't want your business. And people spoke, right? They stayed at home, they boycotted the movie, families boycotted Snow White, they wanted nothing to do with Rachel Zegler. Overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.